The Western political system, basically when we say a political system, it is the major, the core point there is democracy, the democratic value in any political system that concludes or make any political system in the society. That's how we come up with. Later on there are three different parts of any political system, which is parliament, the other one is executive, and the third major pillar of any political system is judiciary. And interestingly, nowadays I'll add one more. The fourth important pillar of any political system is media in any country. So that is an addition. But the orthodox theory, orthodox definition of any political system is parliament, executive, which is bureaucracy, and then the appointment by the government, and then the judiciary, who take up with the cases related to justice. So this is the political system. And then when we talk about the parliament, parliament is the core point of parliament is the democracy. So then there is a Western democracy, and when we talk about Islamic political system, so we have to be clear again here on this point that Islamic political system is based on democracy, but that democracy is far away from Western democracy. That is an Islamic democracy or Islamic model of democracy. And what that is? When we talk about the Western democratic system or Western democratic value, it bases on the freedom of individual in the society. For example, if we take British democratic or British democracy as an example, so we'll see that whatever the majority say in the system, whatever the majority says in the country, that becomes the rule and regulation. And that is what is passed by the parliament, that is what regulation which is made by the government and the country. That is the freedom of individual, and wherever the majority takes you, that's where the regulation is made. But when we talk about the Islamic democracy, so we have to be clear on this point that Islamic democracy, as we know, Islam has always suggested the middle way. There are always the two extremes. Even if we take the economic system, we talk the Western economic system, capitalism or socialism or Islamic economic system, or if we take any social system, or if we talk about the political system. Whatever the model is there, because Islam is actually providing us with a set of principles, and then later on the countries make the models by keeping those principles as a basis in the roots of that model, and they come up with a model and then they utilize it. So for making a model by utilizing the principles provided by Islam, Quran and Sunnah, so one thing we have to keep in mind, and whenever the model is made, this is always has an important value while making a model of Islam, any Islamic model. What that value is, that is actually the middle way. As Islam always suggests, that the middle way is the best way. Even in your life, the middle way is the best way. Never go to any extreme. For example, if we see whatever we call extremist or terrorism, still it is one extreme in human's life, in the society. When we talk about capitalism, it is another extreme, that the freedom of buying, selling, making money, there is no limit to it. That is one extreme. On the other hand, in economic model, we see a socialism, that is another extreme, that everything is nationalized. So it is like two extremes. When we talk about Islamic economic system, it is in the middle. Islamic economic system has something which you privatize, and there are a few companies which a government will like to keep with it, that will be a nationalized thing. And then there is a limit. You cannot cross the limit. You can enjoy your freedom within the limits. That is the middle way. Similarly, when we talk about Islamic political system, so Islam, Quran and Sunnah, it draws actually a boundaries for a Muslim and a Muslim Islamic political system. We can enjoy our democracy, we can enjoy the right of democracy, we can enjoy the right of shura. The word shura is in Arabic is actually the democracy in English. So we can enjoy that right by being into those boundaries. We cannot cross those boundaries, and still we can enjoy the right of democracy. So in other words, we can say Islam gives the model of limited democracy and not unlimited democracy. That you cannot cross the boundaries set and decided by Allah Almighty and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Quran and his Sunnah, but keeping yourself within the boundaries, you can enjoy the right of freedom, you can enjoy the right of democracy. And how it works. For example, there is a democratic value. You can select whatever you want, the members from the community, they go to the parliament, whatever the model is there. I'll come to the models too and what were the models adopted by the first four caliphates. So we can always go for any model, and then what we do, you can elect the members from the community, they go to the parliament, they do the lawmaking for you. But the system keeps in mind, they can do always, but their lawmaking cannot cross the boundaries set up by Allah Almighty in Quran and Sharia. You can do all lawmaking by keeping yourself within the boundaries. If anything which is haram or anything is prohibited in Islam, or anything has been prohibited by Quran and Sunnah, your lawmaking, even the whole country or majority goes against that idea, or even the majority or a whole country tells you that we want this law. If Quran and Sunnah tells you that this is prohibited in Sharia, you cannot do that lawmaking. If anything on which you are not receiving any order or any regulation from Quran and Sunnah, then you are open to do a lawmaking. With a democratic value, with the majority, you can go with the majority. Whatever you opt or whatever you adopt, you are open to do that, to enjoy that democracy. Again, as I have said, it is a limited democracy and not the unlimited one, as we see in other models, that whatever the majority suggests or whatever the majority says, the country, the regulation, the government goes with it. So this is the one important point we should keep in our mind. And then now coming to the electoral system, and then again I'll be describing the Khilafah, the concept of Khilafah, why there is a slogan, a lot of slogans about Khilafah, and what exactly Islamic model of democracy and Islamic model of politics is, and political model. As I have mentioned earlier, Islam has just provided us with the set of principles, the principles about democracy. As Quran states in one place, that Allah Almighty asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that whenever you decide or whenever you are deciding or taking any decision, try to discuss it with your companions and use the value of democracy or give them a right to express their opinion. Like Allah Almighty is actually asking the Muslims and through Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to exercise the right of democracy. And this right has been exercised by Allah Almighty by Himself. How? At first place, when Allah Almighty created Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, what He did? He created Adam alayhi salam, and then He gave the right to His angels to respond on His creation. That was the first democratic right given in the history of the creation, history of the whole world, history of the humanity. That was the first democratic right so that the angels could express their feeling, express their opinion, whatever they had in their mind. Allah Almighty gave them a democratic right to express it openly. And then, after listening from them, Allah Almighty ensured that they are satisfied. Then that decision was executed. And Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam was made later on a Khalifa, and he was sent to the world for rest, whatever is happening today. So, this is the first right of democracy even Allah Almighty exercised by Himself. There was no need to be done by Him. But why Allah Almighty did? He wanted to set an example for everybody, if Allah Almighty, the Creator, the Powerful, the Maker of everything, if He can exercise the right of democracy, if He can give an option to people to respond to His creation, if He can give a right to His angels, to His creation, to give their opinion, then why not a human being who are a creation? So that was the first time right given in the history of creation by Allah Almighty Himself. Then Allah Almighty is asking Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to exercise the same democratic